So today's review is a little bit different. As you can see, it's for 3 books, all about colour pencil. 3 very, very different books. One of them, unfortunately, is on my Kindle because I couldn't get a paperback copy of it. And I just wanted to go through my thoughts of these books. I bought them more or less at the same time when I was right at the beginning of doing colour pencil. And so I was a complete beginner. I'd only watched a few YouTube videos and I thought these books would help me. So first of all, we'll talk about 101 Textures in Colour Pencil by Denise J. Howard. This book, in my opinion, is not for beginners. It gives you a lot about the tools and the materials and the techniques and colour mixing. Okay, and up to there, we're fine. Then we get into the projects. So you start with people and you go on with smooth skin. And I just feel like for most of the textures in this book, there aren't enough steps and there isn't enough written explanation. So for a beginner, it's very difficult to understand what you're doing. I did try some of these when I was first learning and I had real problems with them. I had to keep going over them, keep trying them, and it just didn't work for me as a beginner. I think the photos go too far ahead too quickly and the steps are not enough. There's not enough explanation for you as a beginner to understand how to do it. I can do it now, I could do it, but at this point I don't really need the book anymore. There are lots of textures you can see. There's fur, feathers, there's fabrics. And again, for example, the denim one, I actually tried this and okay, so I can now colour a pocket on a pair of jeans. But the rest of the jeans, for me, it was missing the whole picture. So yeah, you can take one part of a pair of jeans and you can become very skilled at using colour pencil. But then you have to apply that to the rest of the jeans. And unless you know about folds and drapery, etc., it's not going to get you very far. Saying that, it has a lot of textures: sequins, velvet, silk. I think for an intermediate or someone who knows what they're doing with colour pencil, this would probably be quite a good book. There's loads of textures, every sort of material you could ever think of, and plants as well. And yeah, I think the main problem was it was just a piece of texture. For example, also the hair here. Okay, you've got this little bit of hair here, but how do I do the rest of the hair? And you only learn that with experience. And I think this is just more someone who has a lot of more experience with colour pencil. This is not for beginners. And in fact, I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 because at the time when I bought this was not very helpful to me. But again, for a more advanced person, someone who's beyond the beginning stage of colour pencils, this is probably a very useful book. It has bark and stones and moss and water and plants and landscapes, so even fire. So I'm sure that there's lots in there that you can get from it. And in fact, if I should use it now, I probably would find it a lot more useful than I did before. This book instead, The Modern Colour Pencil by Chelsea Ward, I found this really useful. Again, as a beginner, this book is wonderful for someone who's just starting out. So you have your introduction with the usual supplies, a few techniques, blending and burnishing, layering, working on toned paper, seeing and using patterns, drawing everyday life, drawing architecture and landscapes, drawing animals, figure studies, closing thoughts and about the artist. So this one is really useful if you're just starting out in colour pencils. Okay, she teaches you how to make different marks, how to blend your colours, colour theory. So there is a lot of useful information in there. And then she has a lot of projects as well. So she talks about layering, burnishing and layering, solvents. So she gives you a bit of everything. So here, for example, she shows you how to build up with layers and how to make it look more realistic. Working on toned paper, patterns. There are lots of projects. I think there's more than 75 projects in the whole book, which is really good. But again, it's very basic. If you're looking for something that's more advanced, then this isn't the book for you. But if you're just starting out with colour pencil and you want to learn the different techniques, I did these ones as well. This was great fun to do. And it's quite satisfying when your project looks similar to the one in the book. Architecture and landscapes. This one I would think for a beginner is much more useful than the first book I showed you. But again, it only takes you so far and then you need to get more advanced books. So this one has a bit of everything, and I really enjoyed this one, going through it and doing some of the projects. And for a beginner, I highly recommend this one. Then we have our last book, which unfortunately I have in a Kindle because as I live in Italy, it can sometimes be very difficult to find the paperback version of the book, or it's extortionately expensive. So I do sometimes buy the Kindle. I prefer not to because the Kindle isn't very convenient, let's say. You can't just flip through it and find the page you want. And sometimes there's a double page spread which explains everything to you and you have to flick through pages and pages of your Kindle. So there are pros and cons. I bought this because I really wanted the book. I couldn't find it in paperback, and so I went for the Kindle version. Landscape in Ink and Colour Pencil by Helen Hanson. This is for more advanced, so I would definitely suggest getting the second book I showed you, the Modern Coloured Pencil, and going through that and learning the basics. But this one then takes you further ahead. So here we have the content. So you have your materials and equipment as usual, translating the landscape. So if you're into landscape painting, for example, this is really useful. But it does teach you techniques you can use in lots of different things. Composition matters, basic techniques, embossing, lifting out and sgraffito, pen to paper, the importance of integration, a closer look, seeing the whole picture, working on a series, 4 seasonal projects and the challenge of a large work. I'm not going to take you through the whole Kindle, it will take forever. This is an example of one of the pictures in there. I found this book really, really useful for learning different techniques, for just seeing what could be achieved with colour pencil. So I would definitely recommend this for anyone who's gone through the beginner books and wants something that's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more time consuming, but you learn a lot from it and you can apply so much of what you learn here into your other drawings as well. So yeah, these are 3 very, very different books. This one is definitely for beginners. Definitely recommend this for beginners. Modern Colour Pencil by Chelsea Ward. It's excellent. It takes you through and it teaches all the basics you need to know. This one, 101 Textures in Colour Pencil. They have one also in graphite pencil. Excuse my cat meowing. It's okay. It's not a book I would rush out and buy, but I think it could be useful the further along you get in your art journey. And this one, Landscape in Ink and Colour Pencil by Helen Hanson. This one I would utterly recommend for anybody who's serious about colour pencil and wants to learn further techniques. This is an excellent book that will, I think even a beginner, when I bought it, I was a beginner and I managed to do some of the projects in it, and I learned quite a lot from this book. And I think the further on you go, then the more you'll learn and the better it will be for you. So what do you think? You got any more books that you would recommend for colour pencil? Have you tried any of these? Do you agree with me? Disagree? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.